Greetings to all the viewers and welcome once again to Sfun'umsebenzi. Today we are talking something very interesting. You know, every time we're looking for work and we go and search for places that are right and we end up in the wrong place at times. So today I have someone who's going to be talking to us about recruitment agencies, whether these recruitment agencies are worth it or not. And also, once you have registered with one, is it okay for you to be paying a certain fee? Or some of them, they don't actually make you pay a certain fee. So I've got someone in the studio. His name is so hard, yo. I have tried to pronounce it, but I'm going to read it for you, okay? I'm going to read it for you because, hey, otherwise I'll be making a mistake. So he is so handsome. He is married. Nina ekaya khohlwane. So this person is Mr. Xabisa Nqgula, and he owns the CG Recruitment Agency. How are you, Mr. Nqgula?
Greetings, I'm doing great, thanks.
I hope I've done justice, ne?
No.
Yeah, I said you are married.
Perfect.
Yeah,
yes,
you are not
yes.
available.
As Sfun'umsebenzi.
Today we're talking recruitment agencies, nothing else. I am abafazi ngoba you are not available.
Yes, no. I'm sorry, but thank you so much for having me.
And thanks for joining us.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
So, you know, when I saw you, I thought to myself, did they send someone who's registered with the recruitment agency, a model, an ambassador, because you look like you can be on television and do such? Or is this the owner really? So tell us who you are.
All right, no, thank you so much once again for having me. Greetings to the viewers as well.
Yeah.
My name is Xabisa Nqgula. I'm CEO and founder of CG Recruitment.
CEO.
Yes, I'm the CEO of CG Recruitment. Right, maybe I can start off by telling you a little bit about myself. Xabisa is born and bred in the Eastern Cape, in Queenstown. It's a small town close to East London. I've been in Johannesburg for over 10 years now. I think really how I came to Joburg was not even work related. It was football related. I used to play professional soccer.
Is it?
So I was scouted by an academy. In my journey, I broke my ankle, very devastated at the time. That ended my football career, but I always look at it as a journey to something greter.
And what's your favorite team? What's your favorite team before?
I'm a Chiefs fan.
Oh. Sometimes you can be both. Eh?
No. Yeah.
Okay.
So like I said, so I was playing, broke my ankle, and sometimes we look at things and we think that's the end of our journey, and I think that was the moment that I found myself in at the time. But my parents, both teachers, and at the time, I never wanted anything but soccer. So I never understood why they were pushing me to this education thing so much. Only at the time when I broke my ankle, I found myself, okay, I've got something to fall upon. So that's when I went to study. I did my first degree, which was a sports science degree.
Yeah.
I completed that. I worked, and then I did my second degree, which was a business management degree, majoring in HR solutions. But I think the love for people is something that has always been there, from a very young age. Grew up with a small family, but everyone was always in the house, and I think that's where the love for people came from. I remember how I always say to people, recruitment found me. And I say that because when I was still in varsity, actually, I remember a time I subscribed to this platform on the internet where I would create CVs. And I was paying a subscription to that at the time. And to me, really, people were coming to me, my friends, those I was with in varsity, family members, and I would create CVs for them. And then they would go out, some of them would get jobs. Wow. And whenever they don't get jobs, I'd feel bad because I'll think, my work, and not understanding that at the time I was planting a seed, and when it happened, and actually I was just reminded of that a couple of weeks ago, but I used to do that, and I never used to make people pay for that, but I would pay a monthly subscription for that. And that happened. I joined. I worked in the retail industry. Someone found me within the recruitment industry as well. And that's when I started. I started as a consultant. That was over 6 years ago. I started as a consultant in the recruitment agency. But I think also back home when I was growing up, my mom being a teacher was also an entrepreneur because she was selling, we traveled to Joburg every now and then. And I think just modeling her and seeing her, mixing things together, and trying to going over and above and not relying on that one stream of income is something I think that was birthed in me, and even though I was working, I always knew that I needed to build something for myself because I believe so much in ownership. And I always, whenever I talk to young people, I always say, build something for yourself, and I think it really does a lot, and it really helps one to be organized, and it challenges you as well to always be better as a human being. So that's how I found myself in recruitment. That's how I found myself in Johannesburg, loving it. It's very challenging, but we're growing every day.
This is a very interesting story. Hey, I mean, hello, even my viewers can agree to this. So the people that you have found them jobs, the moment you didn't want to make them to pay, and you didn't know what you were actually planting a seed on. Did they come back to you and say thank you?
There were those who did, but I think I was more focused on, like I said at the time, the joy would come from me fulfilling, that purpose. I didn't know it was purpose at the time, but I think the joy would come whenever someone says, oh, I got a job, I would be happy. And those who don't come back because, I don't know, maybe there's some who got jobs, but I didn't know about it. But I was not really focused on that at the time.
Such a great man. Mama, you've done a great job. And wifey, obviously you're still doing more. So let's talk about the recruitment agency, because a lot of people, they sort of like confuse this with something else. In your own words, how can you describe what a recruitment agency is?
All right. I think in simple terms, we are the bridge, that, or the people rather, that bridge the gap between a company and an organization. More like someone who's going to a date, and we are the people who's organizing that date, trying to satisfy both people. Because many times what we deal with is we deal with both candidates, which is the people that are looking for jobs, and we deal with organizations, someone who's finding difficult to find that skill. And we're trying to meet the two. Sometimes, like I said, it can be challenging because sometimes you find yourself in a situation where maybe the one is not as satisfied, and you must try to bring it together to say, look, I'm representing both parties, and it's important for us to find the middle ground. At the end of the day, you are looking for this particular individual, and this particular individual is looking for a company as well to contribute with the skills that they have, but also to grow as well. So we are the people that bridge the gap between
very
the two.
Interesting explanation. But then what does it take for one to establish a recruitment agency? Because, you get a lot of people that I feel like there's too many fly-by-nights out there. I mean, I've gone to Joburg, CBD, downtown CBD. I don't know how many times.
We've all been there.
They have taken my money like hell. And the last one that I actually went to, I almost got kidnapped because apparently the people were busy with human trafficking. But what does it take to establish one?
I think the industry, number one, is regulated as well. And I always say to people, before you even entertain an agency or someone who says, I've got a job for you, do your research. It's important for one to understand what they're getting themselves into, number one. And I think number two, I always say when I speak to a candidate or anyone that I'm advising, whenever someone starts talking to you about you paying them a fee, don't entertain it, because we do not charge candidates to place them in a job. So you need to understand that our money does not come from us finding you a job. It is actually the organization that we assist to find a job that really pays us. So I know there's a lot of
because they will tell you that this registration fee is for us to be able to do paperwork for you, this and this and that. So they've been lying to us
No, they've
all
been
along.
lying. I remember actually years ago as well, I once attended an interview and I was
Yeah.
like, I didn't know. But it was later when I got to understand this is how, when I got into the industry.
Yeah.
But really, our money does not come from candidates because remember, we are assisting candidates to find a position, to find a job. Then the company that is looking for that particular skill is the one that pays us. So at any given point in time, whether we are doing background checks, information checks, we don't charge candidates a
But
fee.
wait a minute. So when you say the company pays you as a recruitment agency,
Yeah.
are they not taking that money from my salary?
No. They're not taking that from your salary. I think that's another sort of myth that is there.
Yeah,
There's it's actually unlawful for for a company to charge you. I've heard a couple of stories where an agency or rather a company would say that we're gonna charge a particular amount. Also, for some agency as well, they would place a certain candidate and then they will say we'll deduct money from. It's unlawful. It's not supposed to be. The Department of Labor bans that. It's not supposed to be because at
Okay.
any given point in time we're not supposed to deduct any fee, and the company that hires you is not supposed to deduct a placement fee from you because at the end of the day they paid to have you to come on board. So we take care of the entire process from finding your CV, looking for you, the screening, doing all the background information, your criminal checks and all of that information that is paid by us as an agency. Then we charge
Haibo.
the company.
Hey, ke gale re scamiwa mos mo bafethu. Hey, crew. Ke gale re scamiwa mos mo. Like too much, honestly speaking,
Yeah.
because you know what? I don't know how many agencies I've been to, and they will tell me that number one, it's either you do your own criminal record, whatever king.
Yeah, the
Criminal check,
checks, yes.
exactly. And then number two, you go and do your fingerprints
Yeah.
at the police station, or we do it for you and then they charge you. And the next thing is that placement fee. The
Yeah.
next thing is an
No,
admin
no.
fee.
It's not supposed to be. So how the process really works is, say the company is looking for an individual, right?
Yeah.
So we then engage with the company to say understand the needs of the company, to understand what exactly they're looking for. Then using all our databases and everything that we use to find this particular individual. Then from there on, then they go on to interview you. Once they're happy to interview you, obviously we then start the process of running all those background checks. What we usually do is we try to find a place that is closer to you, whether it's a post office. I don't want to call names of the suppliers, but then we obviously schedule those background information. You go in, you do your background, your fingerprints capturing, and all of that information. At times you come through to our offices as well, so you capture your fingerprint. Even at that point, you're not paying a cent. You're not supposed to be, because like I said, that's a charge that we charge the organization. Yeah.
So now, do you? At what point do you start looking for people, or people can just randomly come to your office uninvited and saying, "Hey, I heard you on Sfun'umsebenzi, and here I am"? Or do you only look for people when there's a certain company that is looking for certain employees?
So we build what you call pipelines.
Yeah.
We build those pools of candidates. So we've got candidates sending their CVs to us, and then we put them in a database for whenever we need that particular skill. But we try to ban, for safety reasons, people just coming into our offices as well. And sometimes it can be just a whole lot of numbers, because if you're really looking at the numbers, how many people would come to your offices
The
on a
whole
daily-
entire Sfun'umsebenzi would come.
So what we really do is we make our information available to them. We're on LinkedIn, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook as well. They've got our emails there as well, so they email, and then our consultants will then reach out to them to say, hey, thank you so much for reaching out. If there's an opportunity, then we entertain the opportunity, but also just to let them know that their CVs is kept in the database, because there's nothing as discouraging as when you are a candidate, you're looking for an employment, and you're just throwing your CV. It's like you're throwing your CV in a hole.
Yeesh.
No one responds to
Yeesh.
you. To you, it's really discouraging. And I think it's very important for us to understand the human element to what we do, because at the end of the day, we are not just dealing with information, we are dealing with individuals. So whenever someone applies, it's important for you to pick up a call and say, hey, thank you so much for reaching out. I do not have an opportunity for you at this point in time, but your CV is in a database, and whenever we've got an opportunity, we will reach out to you. And I think we owe that to the candidates, that information, because they are trusting us and, looking for that opportunity. And that's what we are here that's why we are there for, to try and assist them as well. Even though at that point we may not have it, it's important for us, to give that response, to say we acknowledge, and this is how we help you.
So when Tile reaches out to you and say we need about 2 accountants, right, in our company, do you send only that 2 or do you send 5?
No. So I think it's very important for comparison as well. So we don't just send 2. So we send a couple of CVs. I'd say for one position we'd send about 4 profiles, and then the hiring manager then selects the one that they want to interview. Then from there on we facilitate the interview process. So of course when it's 2, then it's even more than the 3-4 CVs that we normally send.
But aren't you losing money? Because I hear you that only when the company is kindly asking for maybe those 2 candidates to come for an interview, then you take them through the process of assessment, aptitude tests, credit checks, and this and that. And obviously you have to pay for criminal checks, right?
Yeah.
So if the person, suppose they don't get a job, isn't that a loss on your side?
As much as we can look, you can look at it as a loss, but I think that's the risk that we take on our side as well, because it's not a guarantee. Because it has happened so many times where you engage a candidate and you say, hey, tell me, before we even start this process, do you have anything that you would like to disclose? Do you have any criminal record? Do you have any credit? If it's in the financial sector, sometimes we do credit checks, because obviously they will be dealing with money. So some of them will be dishonest to say, no, I don't have anything. By the time those checks come out, you are seeing, there's criminal, there's all of these things. And at times you lose, that is money lost. But at the end of the day, you can never go back to the candidate and say, hey, pay back this money. We need to understand once again, that we are in the industry, of people, and that's the risk that we carry. But recruitment is quite an expensive exercise as well.
I can imagine.
Not every company would want to go and source candidates via an agency, because it's quite expensive to pay recruitment.
So I can imagine. So I don't know if, because you look like a very nice person, right?
Thank you.
With the way mommy raised you, the way your wife handles you. So if I come to your company and you find out later that I've got actually a criminal record, but I did say to you I don't have any. But you have engaged with me. You have seen me. I'm so good at what I do. Do you sometimes still call the very same person? What are the things? Well, where do you draw the line? I think still being,
I think, remember, we are, like I said, we're the middleman, basically. As much as we do advise our clients, we don't force them to make a decision to say, go for this individual. So you've got clients, companies that would say, you know what, I've seen this person who's so good. And really looking at the the criminal record, probably it was drinking and driving a couple of years ago. Or maybe it was something that they deemed to be light, because there are some people that will say, this is not, I can take, this person is not much of a risk. So really the person who makes a decision is the company that hires the person. That would say, you know what, let's take this particular individual because of 1, 2, 3. And some people, they believe in second chances as well.
And do you sometimes lie for them?
No, we don't. It's very important. It's very important, because part of our screening process is we do a very thorough screening process, and it's something that we do emphasize, because anything can come back to bite you. So it's important for you to be honest from the onset, to say, because even the companies that we deal with, sometimes they are appreciated, because remember, we are dealing with human beings, and as much as it's a CEO of a particular organization, some people, they find it, really, they appreciate it when you are honest to them, to say, hey, I've come across this candidate, very good candidates, but just take note of 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
and sometimes they appreciate that. And I always say that business is built on relationships, and if you are building those relationships in integrity, honesty, your clients will always come back.
Yeah. I worked for a security company, but as an operations manager.
Yeah.
And then I moved from there to become an HR manager.
Can I hire you?
No, I'm happy where I am now. So, one thing that I've noticed was I came across people like myself, whereby you are very sharp, right? You think creatively. You are very professional. You can actually relate with clients very easily. You are able to go seek business for the company and bring back billions, right? Even though you're not getting paid what you deserve, right? But the person struggles with the language, the English language.
Sure.
They don't know how to express themselves thoroughly. Yet, if you were to say to them, speak in your own Zulu language, they know how to do that. Do you come across such candidates, and how do you actually, I don't know, sell a case to companies on their behalf?
That is something that is there. Honestly speaking, we do find those ones where maybe they're quite limited in terms of the articulation, like you said. But I think one thing that really does set us apart is we don't just, like I said earlier on, we don't just throw CVs to our clients. We try to coach, we try to mentor beyond what we do in terms of recruitment services. Most recently, we partnered with exclusive books in Melrose, where we did an entire event where we housed a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of graduates as well. And we don't make people pay for that, so part of what we then do is we coach them. We coach them in terms of how do you make yourself accessible and available to the job market? How do you leverage the job market and ensure that you make yourself more employable? And as an entrepreneur, how do you scale your business? Because everyone talks about starting a business, but how do you then scale your business? So those are some of the things that we do, even on a daily basis when we engage our candidates. So we do that coaching to say, you know what, for example, a candidate is shortlisted for an interview. We don't just give you the details and say, hey, go to the interview. So we spend time with you where we prep you. So this is how you answer these questions. This is how you go about it. This is how you can get ready for this interview. But over and above that, we also try to advise our clients to say, hey, you are looking for this particular skill, especially if a person is not client facing. A skill is something that you can train. If you've got the right attitude, if you've got the right mindset, and you've got someone who can do the job, so it's certain things you can build on them, character, attitude, and all of those things. Those are the fundamentals, and those are very important. So we try to advise our client to say, by the time that because what we do is when a company comes to us and say, I'm looking for an accountant, I don't say, okay, great, let me go look for an accountant. I sit down with you. I understand your needs. What accountant are you looking for? But over and above paper, because anyone can really match what is on paper. But what type of culture? Cultural fit, what type of individual that you're looking for, because sometimes maybe you've got a particular group of people in your company and you're looking for someone that will come in and blend that. So in our screening as well, it's very important for us to engage the person and understand the type of person and what culture that they will fit in, and then we try to match the two. So we advise both clients and the candidate that is looking for the opportunity.
That is so beautiful. You sound like someone who really like investing, especially in your employees, because a lot of people, they don't understand that business is also spiritual.
Definitely.
Business is behavior. Business is your personality. Right. When I walk into your office, I need to see who you are.
Absolutely.
Right, and I can actually tell from your staff how they treat me, how they behave, how they conduct themselves.
Absolutely.
So you sound like you really invest so much in them. But how important that is in terms of giving them the training, in terms of giving them that understanding that a person is the most crucial thing in this world. Absolutely, especially if it's someone who is in need, someone who's looking for a job.
I think now speaking from a a CEO perspective,
Yeah.
I think one, you need to understand and really know who you are. You know, what grounds you as a person. And I
Yeah.
think exactly what you said, the more you grow in business, the more you understand that business is spiritual, you know. And I always say that my journey has been a journey of grace. It's been a journey of purpose. It's been a journey of grit, because there's been challenges in it, right? But when you understand, I'm a Christian,
Yeah.
you know, and for me, you know, that's my foundation. And anyone who comes into my business,
Yeah.
they understand what type of person that I am,
Yeah.
and what are we looking to build. So when you engage people, it's not just about you getting the job done. Remember, there's two ways to it. One, the person, when they come in, they need to grow in your organization, right? And then they need to grow your revenue. And they
Yeah.
always say that the biggest asset is the people, you know. And once you take care of the people, they take care of your business. And I think that is, if you invest in that, and if you invest in the people that you have, you know, it really cuts, you know, a lot of corners, and it really helps your business scale, and it really helps you, you know, in terms of what you want to achieve as well. So it's very important to invest in your people, invest in the type of you know, people that they need to become,
Yeah.
invest in the environment that they will be in. Because think about it, you spend a lot of time, you know, at work, more than you spend at home.
Yeah, of
And
course.
anyone, you know, who comes into that, you want to create a sort of an atmosphere that will be conducive for them to thrive in as well.
That's quite interesting. So, to help someone who's watching at home, since I mentioned earlier on that there's quite a number of fly-by-nights and
Yeah.
recruitment agencies, how do I know that this one is a legit one?
Yeah, I think first of all, there's bodies.
Yeah.
You know, the body is called APSO, one of the body in the recruitment. Actually, the body that governs the recruitment industry in South Africa. But more than anything, you need to understand that, you know, is this business, you know, do they have a landing page? Do they have a website? You know, when you engaging, what are some of the things? Because there are people that will be so pushy. Come for this interview, you need to pay this.
Yay.
And really, what are you hoping to achieve? I'm looking for a job. Why are you so desperate? So it's important for one to do their research and really understand, is this business registered? You know, and who do they deal with? You know, and yes, they might not disclose to say this is the company that is looking to hire because of the Poppy Act, you know, but also it's important for you to understand, you know, that are they making you pay? Why am I paying? Because that is one thing that really a lot of people, because when you're desperate, you're looking for employment.
Yeah.
Some people, they will say, it's just 100 rands.
Nah.
You know, but how many 100 rands are they collecting?
Yo.
Because if you're looking at the number of unemployed people in South Africa, it's massive.
It's massive.
It's
hey?
massive. So people run businesses based on that. So you need to understand, you know, that.
So that regulatory body, you said it's what?
APSO.
APSO. So I
Yes.
can go onto the internet and say, or Google.
APSO, yes.
Yes, and then do I type in the name of your company just to check if you're registered, or how do I do
Yes,
it?
you can. So so you can go on the internet
Yeah.
and then Google the name of the company, then you will find it there as well. Yeah.
Okay, so now let's talk about companies that come to you
Yeah.
and say, I need candidates.
Yeah.
How do you know that this company is legit? Do you do the same?
It's the same.
But they're not recruitment agencies, right?
yes.
These are entities on their own.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think number one, the vetting process that we do when we onboarding clients is quite thorough as well. We need to understand the people that we're dealing with, and there's also boards where we really check. You know, is the company registered? You know, how many people work for this organization? Because some of the people, they don't have a website. There's nothing, no address, and the address that you find is dodgy. Because we are sending people there, you know. So it's important for us to really do a thorough screening and thorough vetting and understand that are these people really people, you know, because at the end of the day, anyone can say, I'm looking for people. Most recently, actually, we had a guy that came into our offices not so long ago, and he said, I'm looking for staffing. I said, okay, great, but what are you looking for?
Yeah.
You know, and it's being dodgy about what he was looking for, only to find out it's got a little bit of human trafficking tied to it. And if you're not asking the right questions, you might think, this is money, let me go for money. But you need to understand, who you're dealing with.
And they're also ruining things for small businesses.
Absolutely.
Because I can imagine there's quite a number of small businesses that are still growing.
Yeah.
And uthola ukuthi mhlambe they don't even have websites.
Yeah.
But they do have address, location, proper
Yes.
offers, but they just don't have the resources to do other things. So for smaller businesses, how do you gauge them?
I think number one, it's important. So we never do business without sitting down with the individual.
Yeah.
It's really important for us to have a sit down, understand who you are. What is your vision? Can I see where the business is? Can I see the offices? Where will this person be working? What will they be doing? Who are they reporting to? Those are fundamentals. It's very important for us to understand, because we cannot just say you are looking for business, say, great, it's money for me, let me go for it. So even for a smaller business, because yes, the smaller business that we have worked with, and some of them we are still working with as well. Some of them, they haven't invested in terms of website and any of these, but these people are legit. But when we have a sit down and understand who I'm dealing with, I can tell almost immediately whether this person really means what they're looking for or they don't. And it comes with years of training as well. Yeah.
So a lot of people, they're asking themselves this question, because Linda, myself, it's one thing that I've been asking myself. Okay, so you are saying we're not supposed to be paying as candidates for you to be able to assist us to get a job. But wena imali yakho uyithola kanjani from companies? I hear you said it's not coming from my payment, it's not coming from my salary, but le mali iphuma phi? And what is most important that I'm so very much curious about, do you get paid every month for as long as I'm in that company, or it's just a once-off?
It's a once-off fee that we get from the company, and it's based on what the candidate is offered. So we charge a percentage on the candidate annual.
Okay.
Hence, I said it's quite pricey. So, for example, the candidate that is offered 12,000. 12,000, that's about 240,000 per annum. We charge a percentage on that. It will be very different to someone who's offered 60, 70, 80,000.
So there's a certain percentage that you guys charge.
Yeah, there's this percentage that we charge.
But is this a regulatory,
Yes.
scale of percentage coming from, I don't know, your body that you guys register with?
So so it's an industry standard as well. So I don't want to call figures or percentages.
No, don't call them, but I just want to find out, when you can just, charge this company out of your head, or is it something that is standard, regulated as well?
Yes, it's standard. It is regulated. Of course, company to company will try to negotiate the rate, but it is regulated and industry standard.
I'm asking this because if I'm a company, obviously I need to know.
Yeah.
And is there any way that I can go and do my research?
Yeah.
If suppose maybe I come to you and then I feel like you're charging me crazy percentage.
Yeah. I think that has happened quite a lot. Most recently, we dealt with a company in Dubai that was opening their offices in South Africa.
Yeah.
They came to us because they were recommended by someone. And then when they came, they did not understand the charge or the fees that the South African market charges. So we gave them a fee and we said, this is how much we charge. They felt like it was a little bit steep. We negotiated, and then they were like, no, I think you're costing us, or rather you're charging us an arm and a leg. They went in to do their research. They came back to us and said, you know what, the rate is fine.
The rate is fine.
Then we started
and probably maybe they went somewhere else and then they realized, I know this is too much. But for international companies, do you charge the same way as you charge the ones that are local?
Yeah, it's the same way, but I think again it always depends. It depends on the type of skill that you're looking for. For more scarce skills, then obviously the rates will be higher.
Why is it the same? I mean, this is an international company. It doesn't come from South Africa.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same sort of skill, particularly because now some of the trends that you see, you get a lot of companies in the US, in London, more specifically looking for more chartered accountants in South Africa as well. So it's still the very same markets that we're dealing with in terms of skill set in the South African market. But I think when you obviously make the conversion, it comes back a little bit more.
What I'm referring referring to is the admin work that you need to do for someone who's now going to be employed overseas.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, this person, he needs to have a work permit. This person needs to have a visa.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're just dealing with a CV, okay, and
Yeah.
then the interview skills and whatever, and then that's it.
So remember when we're now talking about the nitty-gritty in terms of the documentation.
Yeah.
So what we handle is, number one, we need to ensure if this person is fit to work, in the country that we're dealing with. But in terms of the work permits and that, we do not handle that. So what we handle is, that's why I'm saying it's the same sort of process.
Yeah.
But now you need to find out if this person is even more, can they work in that? And then most of the time, they've got companies that will handle that. And some of the companies will say, as a candidate, please handle that. And then by the time you come in, maybe we will handle your relocation fees and so on and so forth. But us, we don't handle that. So what we do is the entire process of trying to match and find the skill to get to work for the company.
So coming close to wrapping our conversation, now I am your product.
Yeah.
You have trained me, you have taken me through the process. I know how to become a very good interviewee, right? I get a job at TLL, and now I start working for TLL. First time when you were doing the vetting on me, I told you I don't drink.
Yeah.
I don't take drugs.
Yeah.
I've never had any criminal record.
Yeah.
And obviously
Happens
you
quite a
researched
lot.
and
Yeah.
yes. And I managed to find my way to clean up my criminal record. But then here I am after 2 years or 1 year.
Yeah.
And then I start giving my employer a problem.
Yeah.
How do you deal with such?
Look, we've had quite a lot of those. But number one, industry specific, it almost sounds a little bit unfair on the employer, because when we place a candidate to a particular company, you've got like your 3 months in terms of guarantee to say, should anything happen in the 3 months, then we will happily replace the person for you. But really what we try to do at CG Recruitment is the coaching is ongoing. And I think there's many candidates that can attest to that. Placed a candidate 1 year, 2 years ago. And actually, if you go through on our LinkedIn page most recently, we had someone who gave us such a good reference that we've placed quite a while ago. What we really try to do is we still coach. By the time we place, we still keep tabs with our candidates to say, hey, how's things going? Remember our conversations when we started the process. You said you wanted to achieve 1, 2, 3. So you also got to keep going as well. On the other hand, we also touch base with the employer as well to say, hey, how is this individual going? Are you happy? Because to us, that speaks to adding value. And
that is good, because you're not just dumping people there.
Yeah, and I think that's a frustration of a lot of companies. Because they feel like what agencies do is that you get me individual, I pay you my money, then you are go. You're on the go, you are not there. But one thing that has really kept us successful is relationships. Because if you are able to place someone, because no one really grows a business by just doing a once-off business. So you always want repeat customers. And how do you get repeat customers? By taking care of those individuals that you place, taking care and still servicing. The servicing continues even after placing the individual.
I love that.
So that is something that is important and we really thrive in.
Quite impressive. So in a case of sexual harassment, in a case of where your candidate has been exploited in the company, do you intervene, and how so?
So we try. It's quite a sensitive one,
Yeah.
but we do try, to intervene, to say, hey, what is happening here? Because at the end of the day, we were responsible, to placing that individual, although we are not responsible for the behavior of the company. But I think it would be inhumane for you to say, I've placed this, just deal with the person. So we always try to come in. Remember, the ongoing support and the coaching that we do also has to do with the individuals that we place. And at most times, something like that, I think really, if it does, we try to advise the person, is this the type of environment that you would be? And I think even me as a business owner is the type of client that I want to deal with, because at the end of the day, I don't want to say, what a lot of people would say is that it's a female. Maybe let me put a male. Maybe things will be different now. But really, are we really putting an end to that behavior, or are we just looking at the money? Because at times, if we focus too much on the money, we really forget who we are as
of
human
course.
beings.
So if someone is going through such, or maybe come across such, I can still come back to you whilst I'm still employed there and say, please look for something for me, because I'm not really happy here.
Yeah, I think we are always happy to assist those, you know, because at the end of the day, as much as we replace both, what we don't do at CG Recruitment, you know, is we place a candidate on company A, and then we go and take that candidate and place on another candidate. It's lack of integrity. But I think in such a case, we've never encountered one. But in such a case like that, why not assist the individual, because they need help at that particular point? Yeah.
No, it makes sense. So, la as Sfun'umsebenzi, we're always looking for opportunities for people.
Yeah.
We all know that there's quite a number of people that are unemployed. Everybody wants to put the bread on the table for their families, and it's very hard. It's very hard to get a job. I mean, how many people do you know that have gone for over 5 years without getting a job?
Yeah.
So I know you seem like a person who's always searching for opportunities for people. Are there any current vacancies that companies have actually provided and say, look for people for us at this point in time?
Yeah, we've got quite a number of opportunities. And I think if you go through our LinkedIn page, CG Recruitment, we always advertise our opportunities there. If you go on the internet and search CG Recruitment, our jobs are there as well. So on our website, we're on TikTok and Instagram, so we try to advertise those as well. So there's quite a lot of just from the top of the head. We're now going to 2026, and a lot of companies are looking for your cyber trainees, people that want to start their articles in the accounting, whether it's in the CA route or professional accountants route. So we've got quite a couple of companies looking for those. From the top of my head, I can think of opportunities in Stellenbosch as well. Where you've got your chefs, you've got your accountant, your revenue managers, and so on and so forth. But if you contact us, you go on our social media pages, particularly LinkedIn, you go there, or just email your CV at apply@cgrecruitment.co.za. That's when then we'll get your CV, and then a consultant will give you a call.
But apart from just preparing my CV, I need you to look at that camera over there and tell me, the one who's looking for a job, what is it that I should come prepared with, just apart from the CV, Nje?
Okay. All right. I think if you're looking for an opportunity, number one, we always say CV. And I always try to advise people, because a lot of people are not educated enough in terms of getting the information on how to make yourself more employable. Because now times have changed, right? We are now in the technology era. We're now in the AI era. And there's something called an ATS. It's an application tracking system. So what it does is when you apply for a particular position, it sort of filters the CVs, the applicants. I want you to think of this way, right? We advertise an admin position. When we advertise an admin position in Johannesburg, how many people do you think will apply? Everyone is looking for an admin. We get about 10,000, 20,000 of people applying. What makes you think that they will pick your CV from those 20,000 people?
Very crucial.
Right? So what is important is the information. Number one, avoid using scanned CV. Don't go and scan your CV. Because at the end of the day, what the ATS does is it filters the right words. So when I put in an ad and I say I'm looking for administrator, it's got Microsoft Word, it's got a BCom degree, for an example, or it's got 1, 2, 3. So what it does is it tries to filter from that job spec that I put in to try and match the right people. Then it cuts, and then it gives us maybe 5,000 people or 2,000 people to deal with. So always tailor your CV accordingly. When you send your CV must speak to the job spec that you're applying for. That is one thing that is important. I know it's a lot of work, but remember, we are looking for a job. So that's your first job before you get that job.
But it's so exhausting. Hey, people need to learn. It's so exhausting, because I remember when I was in HR, you're looking for an operations manager, or you're looking for a security officer, and someone sends you to Zabo Nese.
Yes.
Jehovah Christ. Jehovah. But Mr. Nqgula, thank you so much for talking to us. I mean, it's been lovely, so informative. I so wish that God blesses you with more, because I respect people that are saying, I'm not just into business, but I'm in business for a certain purpose.
Yeah.
And that's why you'll always be passionate working with people.
Yeah.
That's why you'll always see beyond even the ones that are betraying you.
Yeah,
Because you
definitely.
know the one that you serve
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
beyond flesh.
Yeah.
So I wish you all the best, and I'm hoping that the people that are watching at home, here's the opportunity. We've been scammed for so many years. How many people have been calling us? The next thing when we get there, it's something else. Some of us, we almost got raped. Some of us, we almost got kidnapped. And some of us didn't even make it. But hey, here is the person. And I so believe that you are so ready to now start sending that CV. So please, go search, go do a research. CG Recruitment, right?
Yes,
CG Recruitment on LinkedIn.
On LinkedIn,
Instagram,
TikTok,
TikTok,
as well.
Facebook, and Twitter. Are you there as well?
We are on Twitter, but mostly active on LinkedIn. But we also, if you go on on the internet, Google CG Recruitment, contact us or send us an email as well. Then we will contact you as well. Yeah.
You're so well spoken.
Thank
and
you.
I feel like you're a people's person. I feel like you can also preach. The energy is so positive.
I can start a sermon now.
Yeah. I so advise you to please start maybe having your own podcast and advise people about the working environment, because we need that as people. So, Evh'a Nteso and the rest of the team from Sfun'umsebenzi, here's the opportunity. It's up to you. The ball is in your court. Until next time. Ta-ta.